Welcome, I'm David.
I'm Lindsay.
And this is Desmonds Donders.
Hello, welcome to Lochindorb. It's calmed down a bit since yesterday. There's lots of birds about, which we'll try and capture for you. And the loch itself has settled down. There was a wave on it last night, shall we say. Lindsay's not here. I've got my masts up, do a bit of radio, hopefully, and a bit of video. And hopefully plenty more birds. There's black-headed and common gulls about. I've seen oyster catchers, pipits, all the usual birds. But the good news is that Love's Young Dream from our previous video from Lochindorb appears to have successfully raised chicks. Half a dozen of them, in fact. And they're to be seen going up and down the loch, and hopefully I'll get to film them for you. It's, as I say, warm. The wind's dropped. I have flown the drone, and I'm going to fly it tonight. I'm trying to fly round about 10 to 10, 9:50, 21:50, whatever you want to call it. That is the actual time of the solstice at this spot. So I will be flying, hopefully pointing at where the sun is, which should be just on the horizon, and we shall see. I'll then attempt to take you through into the solstice day and show you what the lighting was like here around midnight. If not, it's because the weather in one way, shape or form has stopped it. Anyway, time to try and catch some wildlife on video. A slightly different look about the loch and the surrounds. The wind's got back up since earlier on, and we're about 10 feet up in the air. No, not flying. I'm up the bank beside Desmond, and we're just having a look round. We'll be going into the sun shortly, so you never know. I might switch off. But I'll certainly be coming back for a closer look at the castle. The wind's up a bit, but not as much as it was yesterday. So we'll get a chance, maybe later, to see this place at the exact time of the solstice and or midnight, and then I'm going to bed. The birds have just kept coming. I think I've got about 18, maybe 20 species, and I've been playing radio, not looking at birds. Lochindorb Castle. We've told you much of the story of that over our visits here, and it still looks an imposing place as a ruin. Right at this minute there's only one other vehicle, and it's at the far end of the loch. The drone footage playing now was taken at 2 o'clock on the Thursday afternoon, the day of the solstice. I'll show you some footage from around the solstice and some flying from around the solstice, and then later we'll see what it looked like at midnight. This footage is shot either side of the solstice. The following drone footage is at the same time, and there would have been audio correlating to them both. However, I had a slight technical hitch, so there's some voiceover to talk to you about the solstice. The summer solstice occurs in June in the Northern Hemisphere and marks midsummer, the longest day and shortest night of the year. On this day, the number of hours of daylight are at their maximum, while the number of hours of nighttime are at their minimum. However, While most people consider the summer solstice to be a day, it is in reality an exact moment in time that falls upon that day. This moment comes when whichever hemisphere you're in is most tilted towards the sun. A solstice is a time when the sun reaches its most northerly or southerly excursion relative to the celestial equator on the celestial sphere. Two solstices occur annually, around June the 20th to the 22nd and December 20th to the 22nd. In many countries, the seasons of the year are defined by reference to the solstice and the equinox. The term solstice can also be used in a broader sense as the day when this occurs. The day of a solstice in either hemisphere has either the most sunlight for the year or the least sunlight of the year for any place other than the equator. The word solstice is derived from the Latin sol and sistere, to stand still. Because at the solstices the sun's declination appears to stand still, that is, the seasonal movement of the sun's daily path as seen from the earth pauses at a northern or southern limit before reversing direction. The solstices, together with the equinox, are connected with the seasons. In some languages they are considered to start or separate the seasons. In others they are considered to be centre points. In the Northern Hemisphere, for example, the period around the northern solstice is known as midsummer. Midsummer's Day is defined as St. John's Day. This is June the 24th, or about 3 days after the solstice. Similarly, December the 25th is the start of the Christmas celebrations, and is a day the sun begins to return to the Northern Hemisphere. The traditional British and Irish main rent and meeting days of the year, the quarter days, was at first those days, the solstice and the equinox. Well, that's now after 10 o'clock, and I'm going to switch the camera off for now, but it will be back if I can stay awake till midnight, just to get a look at this place once again at the solstice and at midnight. Camera's back on because I've just spotted something. I'm hoping it comes out again. It's coming. Hopefully you'll see it. Or there we go. Red-breasted merganser. Oh, there you go. By the time I finish this, solstice will be over. And while it's not exactly daylight, it is midnight. The oyster catchers are giving it rowdy. And we're facing towards the castle. You can just about make it there. I could try and zoom in on it, but I don't think the zoom's going to work. As I thought, the zoom didn't want to work. Just not enough light. So I'll have one last look round, and then I'll shut down. And I don't know about you, I'm going to bed. See you in the morning. It's a windy evening, and there is the castle, lit up by the evening sun. White tops on the waves, but still not quite as bad as Wednesday night. Let's swing around and see that evening sun. Told you it was windy. It's not really the setting sun. It's probably going to be another hour and a half before it sets. But it shows what a nice day it has been, if windy all day. No doubt Lindsay will be out snapping away at the sunset when it happens. But in the meantime, let's just have a look around. All the puddles have gone, but there's the view we were looking at last, at midnight on the solstice. And a little bit of sad news. The young lovers, Love's Young Dream, are down to 5 chicks this morning. But that's nature. Here we see the southern end of Loch Indorb. A part we don't normally show you because we like the northern end more than the southern end. But it's all here, and as it pans round you'll see a bunch of trees on this side of the road, and that is where the estate lodge is, and then up beyond that the park ups. There are some park ups down here, but we don't like using them because many of the ones that you find on Park for Night are actually passing places. Thank you for watching Desmonds Donders, and whatever you're doing in the countryside, please take nothing but memories and leave nothing but tracks. Please subscribe and ring that bell to be notified of our future videos.